Okay. Well, as long as you're gonna answer it on live, what's going on?
We just go with
Like,
it.
or you could. She was like, "I do have a question." Right as it went live. But yeah, I do have a question.
Don't worry about it. We just gonna let it happen.
But nobody's on right now. If you want to exit.
Okay, so do I just go from to the next, or are you gonna kind of facilitate?
Um, kind of. Hold on. Got me get the notes down. But no, kind of. We'll just go like just have a regular conversation. If I want to like add something to it, I'll just be like, yeah, when I see a pause, while you're talking. Okay.
Okay.
So like just add, or either um, I will also like clarify some of the words that you're saying so that everybody can understand it. Like, because a lot of time we use
Yeah.
the jargon that we're used to. So I want to make sure that everybody understands. Like the other night when I was saying coping skills, but I was just like, no strategies, like
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
like stuff like that, I'll be like, okay, like this is another term so we can have it where everybody understands it.
And that's why I want to present it in a
Yeah,
easy dialogue. Yeah.
right. So I'm excited. Hey Amber. Yes, I'm excited that you finally made one. So y'all, as y'all are coming in, y'all can just say hey and all this other great stuff. So hey Lisa.
Hey, Annalise.
And I did not know you knew her.
Yes, that's my girl. She's helped me out some tough times.
Lord have Lisa just out here just helping folks. I know her from for undergrad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we went to undergrad together. So yes. So y'all go ahead and come on in. Make sure y'all share it with your people. Um, Share it on your page. If you don't mind, share it in your inbox where people can, actually see so that we can get the word out. That's what I can hear because this thing is not silent. So that we can get the word out on mental health. Hey, Shabrika. Good evening, Shabrika. Good evening, Rachel, as well. So y'all already know we'll go ahead and get started probably in like 1 minute. So we'll get started at the 7:04 mark. And when we get started, we're gonna start off with some deep breathing. Y'all already know. Y'all done been here before.
Good evening, Rachel.
Mm-mm. Okay, there we go. All right, ladies. All right, let's see. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I want us to do some deep breathing. So again, remember to breathe in from your gut. Look at me. Breathe in from your diaphragm and slowly exhale through your mouth. And hold it for a little while and then breathe out and let it go. Okay? So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. So the last time, breathe in, hold it, breathe out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we do one for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Holy Ghost. On tonight, you guys, we have a very special guest. I just recently met her probably about 2, 3 weeks ago for the first time. And I must say that it was like meeting old friends, okay? So let's see. Let me go ahead. For those of you that do not know who I am Danielle Bailey. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in the great state of Louisiana. and my private practice is here in the great city of Alexandria, Louisiana. So tonight we have Ms. Tywanda Thomas Harris, right?
Tawana Harris.
Tawana Harris. Good. I've been saying your name wrong. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
She,
I think
she
I'll worse.
She is a LMSW. However, she is currently her LCSW is loading. She is currently a medical social worker at Southern Care Hospice and waiting and awaiting board to approve her to sit for her LCSW. So literally, it is waiting. It is loading,
Yeah.
and she is also awaiting the birthing of her LLC to move forward in the implementation to growth. I like it. Come on here, short and sweet bio, straight to the point. So again, tonight, you guys, we will be discussing anxiety. So make sure y'all go and get your pens, your paper, put us up on the TV screen, bring your children in, and all that other great jazz because this is a learning opportunity for everybody, not just for you. Parents, we need to teach our children about mental health and we need to teach them how to handle their anxiety and their depression or whatever that they're feeling in an appropriate manner. So that's why it's so important that everybody listen to this. So take it away, ma'am. Take it away, Miss Harris.
Thank you so much. And I must say, it is an honor and a privilege to be here with you on this evening. And thank you for inviting me to participate with you. I'm following in your footsteps, ma'am. And so I'm told that you are the person to rub shoulders with to let some of them blessings flow over here. So thank you, thank you. And I thank you for allowing yourself
Mhm.
to be used by God and just open yourself up and to for your continued blessings and reaching out to others in this community, in this platform. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And so, what is anxiety? So, I'll give you the book, that book of what we all learned in school said that anxiety disorder includes disorders that shares features of excessive fear and anxiety related disturbances. We hear that and we're like, okay, what is that?
Hmm.
Basically, anxiety is a fear. It is a fear. It's an emotional response to either a real or a perceived threat that's in our minds. And
Yes.
so, just with that basic piece starting off, it just reminds me that our thoughts are powerful, our minds are powerful. Um, we can't control our thoughts.
Come on and say that.
The number one people who realize that are people in the advertising
Mm.
business. They get me every time. When I see Reese's and Snickers and all the other chocolate people that plant that thought in my mind, it takes some adjusting to get past that temptation. So bless you. So the anxiety starts with a thought. However, in small doses, anxiety can be helpful. It
Mm.
helps protects us from danger and focus our attention on our problems. So don't think that, oh, they're talking about mental health. Oh, this is all bad. Oh, we're all, you know, have issues. There are protective factors that God has equipped us with. And um, in those small increments, it can really help us. I know oftentimes personally, my mom calls me a procrastinator, but what I have learned in that is that anxiety, that small burst of stress pushes me to produce my best.
Mm.
And so it sometimes is a driving force for some people in small doses. So, what does anxiety look like? And before I go into what it looks like, I'll just first share that there are different types of anxiety disorders. Number one, there's a generalized anxiety. It's an excessive worry, that excessive thought on areas such as your job, your finances, your children, just those thoughts that continually are in our minds about just different. I know Miss Donna mentioned OCD last night. Those constant, persistent thoughts that's eating at us. And then there's phobias. That's another type of anxiety disorder. And the phobia is a very intense fear of a specific thing, which is out of proportion to the actual threat. Fear of giving speeches. I'll admit I'm a little nervous tonight on this platform. Every time that I get up to speak in front of people, I'm a little nervous. But I do know there are some people who are just get in front of people to speak and cannot, they'll open their mouths and words will not come out. Those are phobias. My husband is a big guy and he's afraid of spiders. He's afraid of spiders. So, whereas, that is a real phobia for him. And when there is a spider in the house, I'm the one that'll kill it. So those are phobias. Lastly, and I think one that most of us can really relate to is a panic disorder.
Mm-hmm.
That's an extreme anxious response where a person experiences panic attacks. Um, what does that look like? In children, it can be crying. It can be what appears to be temper tantrums. It can be them not speaking or just, being very stoic. So in children, it can show itself in one way and differently in adults. In
Right.
adults, it can be the rapid breathing, sweating, shaking, having shortness of breath, nausea, feeling lightheaded. I will be vulnerable and share my experience with having a panic attack. And this was during a time where I was in school. I think it may have been grad school and working and doing an internship. And I'm just driving on my way to school, going up I-20 and thinking about, okay, I got my paper, I got to study. I have um, a report that was due at work. Then I had to come home and do something for the house. And all of the sudden, I found myself couldn't breathe. I literally could not breathe. And I said, Lord, I'm too young to go out like this. I thought I was dying right there on I-20. And I was like, my husband can't find me. My mama ain't going to know where I am. And look, and I had to pull over.
Mm-hmm.
And I just could not breathe. I could inhale, but I could not exhale. That was a scary feeling. And those that I speak with who's experienced it, those thoughts again, that powerful muscle, the brain, they believe also, I'm going to die. I'm dying. This is my death. I thought, okay, this is not right. This is how I'm going out. This is, who would have thought? And I had to, and I was all alone. I was by myself. So I pulled over to the side of the road and I just jumped out the car and I was flailing my hands like I, I'm dying. And eventually I just had a burst where it all came out. And
Mm-hmm.
then when it came out loud. And I thank God I was by myself. And it just came out. And after then, I could breathe. From that time to this, I have had a couple of others. But what I have learned, and I'll even say I recently had one, and I use what I like to call tools. in my tool belt. I like to be prepared. I like to pull out um the tools. I kind of live by different tools. And so what I've learned is to deep breathe.
Mm.
Just what Danielle have us doing each day, to deep breathe. And while I'm deep breathing, I self-talk. I say, breathe. It's okay. Breathe. It's okay. Breathe. And those have been it that has been by far one of the most profound um tools that has helped me in being able to work through that specific panic attack at that time. Um, People may have a fear of losing control. That's a biggie in what anxiety looks like. How do I deal with navigating through this? Before we came on, Danielle and I, well, she mentioned the climate that we're living in right now. I've been so busy today, but I saw that there's a thing going on with gas,
Mm.
you know, and I pray that everybody don't run out like they did the toilet paper.
Jesus, they already doing
Yes,
it.
honestly. And as I came home, I have a half tank gas, and I was like, "Do I need gas? Do I?" And even now, I've seen gas have gone up, and I said, "Okay, all right, we just need to take a moment as
Mhm.
a society. We need to take a moment and just breathe and recognize that it's the thought, it's the fear, it is that muscle in our head that is telling us, okay, we've got to do this and we've got to do that, and that can seriously affect us physically. It
Right.
comes, it manifests itself physically um to us when we're having those experiences. I'll also share some different strategies and different tools that things that we can use. And for me, there are different ones, but one of the ones that I absolutely love is the deep breathing. And I'll share that anytime I hate going to the doctor's office, but anytime I go, my blood pressure is always, that first reading is always high because I'm anxious, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And for me, everything is wrong. The cup is too tight. It's just it's cold in the doctor's office. There is always something. But I learned deep breathing, and I practice it. And so now when it's time for the blood pressure reading, I go into my deep breathing. And every single time, every since putting that into play, um, the blood pressure reading comes back. And that is a physical manifestation. The lowered blood pressure, that is a proven thing to help lower and de-stress, is the deep breathing. When I first learned about deep breathing, I was like, I don't know, it ain't no way. But I'm a believer.
Mhm.
I have come to realize that deep breathing is a very powerful tool. One of Another tool is what is entitled progressive muscle relaxation. Um, that is when you tighten your muscles and you feel what that tenseness feels like, and then you slowly release it. It can be you sit down or you lie back, and for each area, you tense your muscles tightly. But don't strain it, just hold that muscle for 10 seconds. and pay close attention to those muscles. And you can start from the bottom up. You can start with the toes, curl the toes, and hold that for 10 seconds and then release it. And it's amazing, again, what the body does. Anxiety is a thought that often affects us physically. And so, some of the ways in coping with that is also a physical thing that we do, and transfer that to our thoughts, and we can feel it and think it and just kind of almost feel the tension releasing from our bodies.
Mhm.
Calves, you can part your feet and flex your feet and hold those calves. I hate my calves, but hold it for 10 minutes. And as I'm talking to you about it, I'm doing it. And then release it. And it feels so good to release. And you go all the way up from to your thighs or your torso, your back. And I think we all kind of experience when you kind of stretch your back, those shoulder blades, touch those shoulder blades, and leave it there. And see how tense that feels, and then release it and let it go. It feels very good. It feels very relaxing. And just kind of do the breath with that. Another one of my very favorite ones, and I do this to just help me wind down from the day, is imagery. And just again, your mind. I cannot stress how powerful our thoughts are. And when we're able to bring our thoughts into focus, it definitely can change our outcome on our next steps. So, our thoughts have the power to change how we feel. So, if I'm feeling sad, it's likely if if I think sad, something sad, I'll begin to feel sad. And the opposite is true when I'm thinking positive or calming or relaxed, then I'm going to feel positive, calming, and relaxed. So, the way imagery works is you can think of a place that you find as very comforting. That can be grandma's house, mama's bed, my own bed, which is my favorite place in the whole wide world. On a beach in Paris. Think of your most comforting place and just take in all of the five senses about it. Like, think about what is it that you see. Take your time, about 5 or 10 minutes, to give detail to everything. What is it that you see? What is it that you notice? What sounds do you hear? Are the birds chirping? Is there no sound? Is there music? Is there soft music? What are you eating? Are you drinking a pina colada? Are you drinking a cold water? What does that taste like on your tongue? Um, what is the temperature like? Is it warm? Is the sun feeling good, warm? You getting that vitamin D? What do you smell? What does that area, all of that smells like? And also part of imagery, um, that I've personally used when my mind is going and going and going, and um, it's hard for me to go to sleep. I'll just kind of lay back and I think of my whatever, my life, my body shape, my money, my house. I think of whatever, but I think of it in the perfect sense. If everything was perfect, everything, and I give detail to every piece of what that looks like. My hair is just right, and I imagine what that hairstyle looks like. I imagine what all of those pieces, and I start from the bottom up, top down, bottom up. If it's a project I want to do on my house, I think about, oh, perfectly, and imagine myself in there. And by the time I go through all of everything, I've fallen asleep. I never make it to the end. All I've been doing that for years. I never make it to the end because it's so calming and relaxing, and it's positive. It's something that I want. It's something that I want to attain, and it has always helped relax me. That's part of the imagery to kind of help guide us through dealing with some of the noises and all of the pressures that we're experiencing that's outside of our heads, and because we're dealing with enough of pressures that's inside of our head, all of our thoughts that we're bombarded with. And so it's worth taking the time to just being quiet, getting in that quiet place, and l- closing out all of the other noises. We've got to take the necessary steps to take care of ourselves um, holistically, our minds, our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health. Just taking the time to connect is worth all of the difference in the world. And so those are all the pieces that I have to share tonight on anxiety.
Thank you so much. So there's a couple of things that you had said that I actually wrote down that I thought that was great to bring back up and stuff like that. So what was it? You said something that in the beginning when you were saying that, what was anxiety and stuff like that. And you said that perceived threats in our minds. I think that that is so important because sometimes I like to tell people that like some of the thoughts or so whatever the thoughts that you're having, like they're almost like made up, and
Mm-hmm.
like, they're not necessarily factual. So I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people to fact check. So I like when you say that they're perceived threats in our mind. And so like that doesn't mean that they're real or whatever. So like I really wanted to I like that you said that. And the fact that and you said also small doses of anxiety are actually helpful and it'll produce your best. Like, yes, I'm so excited that you said that because a lot of time when we think about anxiety, we think about it bad, it's something bad or whatever. But sometimes it is something that actually helps pushes us to be our best and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. So like it's like this right here. A lot of people are nervous when they come on and doing this or they experience a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
It's just like you're still producing your best work, like you still do amazing afterwards, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that it goes also to that fight or flight
Right,
sense, you know. We're either gonna fight or I won't even I don't believe in just failing because I feel like the only way you fail is not to even try, to
right,
never attempt. And that's another way that I deal with those thoughts. Um, I push myself, or I think about, okay, what is the worst possible scenario? Like, let's say I'm nervous to come on here and speak. What is the worst possible scenario? Whatever I'm going to say, I'll forget. You all don't know what I'm going to say, so you don't even know whether I've forgotten it or not.
right.
So, I mean, I can just go on. But I think about that and I figure a way to work from that step all the way up to where I am.
Right,
And
right.
so, I mean, it's just taking it step by step.
Exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
And so I do want to make sure that I also add that anxiety, you had mentioned this earlier about if we don't control our anxiety, it can cause our blood pressure to rise. and then we can start now having physical symptoms. And so that's why it's so important for us to actually address it, seek medical attention, because you're going to the doctor. And see, this is how a lot of people end up on medication that they don't need, because when you go to the doctor see that you have elevated blood pressure, and they keep seeing it. So they're gonna be like, I'm gonna give you a pill because the symptoms are physical. I can see them. So I'm gonna give you this pill, but then your blood pressure keep getting high. It's still
That's
high. It's still high. And that actually is what happened to me when I was going before I knew that I had anxiety. I was going to the doctor. She gave me a blood pressure pill.
right.
It's
Hmm.
still high. She gave me this one. By the
Yeah.
time I figured it out, like I'm on 3 pills and it's still not working. Until one day I was just like, no, it's anxiety.
Hmm.
And when I started getting treatment for that, the blood pressure went down. So right. So just like that right there in itself, so many people are on this medication and it affects your liver. It affects all of these other things.
That's right.
They're treating the wrong thing.
That's right. That's
So
right. Yeah. And so it's good. That's why I say it's good to overall just be in tune with ourselves. Just
mhm,
be in tune with what we have going on. And that's why I'm so happy that you're doing this, because for us, people who look like me and you, there's a great stigma around getting the necessary help, but don't have a problem with going to the doctor and taking all the pills that they have to give us. And they're just
yeah.
gonna lay it on us. They're gonna keep giving us medicine to blow our kidneys, blow our liver. We'll
hmm
take that faithfully, but we won't go and sit down and talk to somebody about some other tools that we can use to help us on our day to day and thought process and building our brain muscle.
I agree too. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that. I feel like the PCP should just automatically like refer people for certain diagnosis. If you continue to see like the blood pressure being high, like I'm
Hmm.
gonna refer you to somebody, because
Hmm.
physically we're treating it with medication. It is
Hmm.
medication should work, but we're still having problems. So let me refer you to somebody, the mental health side, so that we can,
Yes,
you know what though, a lot of PCPs, a lot of doctors don't know this neither.
they don't.
They're just as uneducated about the mental health side as we are when it comes to their field. So that's why
That's,
we got these specialties, and we actually really and truly like refer out and refer to each other
that's
and stuff
right.
like that. So yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So, and I also want to say this: depression, I mean, not depression, but anxiety can, in fact, cause depression. Like
oh,
anxiety and depression is kind of like hand in hand. To tell you
sisters.
the truth. Yeah, yeah, they are sisters, okay? They are
Indeed.
literally sisters, because when you have so much anxiety, it makes you depressed because you can't do the things that you want to do. Then when you have depression, you know what I'm saying? Like it can be vice versa or whatever. So it calls you to, they are literally sisters. And so like understanding that you can have both
Yeah,
is important. So that's why you kind of have some of these medications that actually treats both,
it
because of
does.
that. So
It does. And I see that so often. I work with hospice, and it's going, during that life's transition, or,
mhm,
right there when you get that news of, okay, this is a terminal diagnosis, you're anxious,
yep.
depression.
Hmm.
That sister comes and grab her sister's hand and say, come on, let's skip the loop.
Right.
And so it does it, like you said, maybe one day we can get to the point where the doctors and the mental health therapists can join hand in hand in treating holistically to help
Right.
uh, to eradicate that. And
I
yeah.
think that they are actually getting to that. I feel like, because like they want a lot of mental health clinicians to actually like contact doctors and stuff like that, provide them with our notes and stuff like that. So integrated healthcare is what they're trying to call it, or
Yeah,
whatever. So they are moving towards that too.
good stuff.
I'm right. Shabrika said yes, my anxiety causes nausea and headaches.
That,
Yes, like I'd be like, let me go lay down something.
mhm, it does. It does. I'm telling you, that blood pressure will shoot up because it's just those thoughts are just racing so fast. Yeah,
Exactly. Let's see. Thanks, Rachel. What was Angie got? It will literally make you sick. Yes, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. So Miss Rachel got holistic approach. Yes, ma'am. Come on, come on.
it is.
Okay. It's because people see medication as a quick fix, but they don't realize medication actually takes time just as
Just
therapy
like
does.
therapy does. Girl,
Yes.
preach.
And hopefully
Preach.
you find the right one the first time, because a lot of times you do not find the right one. So we're taking different medications, and that
Mhm.
continues to continue the cycle of like all these different types of medications that we're taking or whatever. But I do like to tell people, be patient and you'll find the right dosage that works for you.
That's right.
That's why you got to pray, okay? That's why that's why you got to pray and ask the Lord to help reveal to the actual professional what medication they need to put you on in order for it to work. That's how Jesus and therapy goes hand in hand.
That's
You need
right.
to pray and be like, God, please give them the knowledge and the understanding of what medication actually works for me, what medication is tailored to my body. And that's how that works.
Even add a caveat to that. You have to pray and ask God to lead and guide you to the right doctor as well
Mhm.
as the right therapist. I'll say, you get your insurance, you get your packet, you have all of these doctors. Who I go to? Who do I go to?
Right.
And honestly, I prayed. I was like, Lord, this is what I need in a doctor. Lead me to the right doctor. And like I said, when I went, and this was my first time going to that particular doctor. And like I said, I go to the doctor's office. I don't know you. I don't know you. Most doctors look at me, and the first thing they say is, "You need to lose weight." Like
Right.
That's the first thing that you're gonna say, no matter what's going on with me. And my blood pressure was high. And
Mhm.
so my blood pressure is number one is gonna be high because I'm nervous. But number two, I had taken some. I was having congestion. Had taken some medication. So what I appreciated in my doctor, he said, "Well, this is my first time meeting you." He asked me questions about my lifestyle, my diet, what's going on, and he said, "Okay, I don't want to put you on medicine right now. Watch your diet, watch these things, and let's pray about it. And I want you to come back."
Right.
I have been with that doctor forever. And if he ever gives me, like, please don't leave me. But I prayed and I asked God. And when he told me that, I said, he's got a patient for the rest of my life. And I appreciate him taking the necessary time, and anything that's going on with me, that's how we're going to proceed. He's not quick to just give me medicine. We're going to discuss other aspects of my life and what's going on with me and what am I doing. And that, I believe, only came from me praying first and
Mhm.
asking God to lead me to the right doctor. And
Exactly.
that's very important.
So what we got? Yes, the function under the medical model and are often clueless about the other side. Yes,
That's it.
ma'am. That is so it. And people don't realize they can coexist. It
That's absolutely.
ooh, Rachel say that it can also cause digestives troubles.
It does. It does.
Come on, yes, there. Yes, pray. Jesus and therapy. Amen. That's great. Let's see what is great. What we got? And for treating the person, not the symptoms.
Not the symptom.
Yes, that's because that's what a lot of medical people do. Like they treat the symptom,
The symptoms.
not the
And we
person.
get to the root of the problem with the person.
That's why it's so important for them to refer out, because they don't have enough time to actually sit down and talk to us. Like they have 15 minute slots and you in and out, you know. So that's why it's so important to come to us and talk to us and stuff.
That's right.
So any last words for our people as we before we get ready to close?
Well, I think it's been stated in the comments. Pray, ask God's guidance, be aware of yourself. It's okay to take the medicine, but it goes hand in hand with the therapy. And, thank you guys for joining on. Thank you for allowing me to utilize this platform tonight.
Thank you. So tomorrow we will have our guest Julia Zeno. She is from the Baton Rouge slash Alexandria area. Tell us where you are from, Miss Harris. What area you're from?
I'm from the Shreveport, Louisiana area by way of Keithville.
So yes, by way of Keyville. So tomorrow will be our actual last night for this week. Okay. So tomorrow we'll have Miss Zeno, and then Sunday I will be back with Miss Angela Moran. And so we will go into the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks we will be almost on live every night because there's a lot of people talking about wanting to talk about self-esteem and self love, and then the last week is finding your voice.
Wow.
Right. So I wanted to do all these because this is what I've been seeing in my practice: depression, anxiety, low self esteem, not really loving yourself,
Wow.
and people not really knowing their voice. And so,
Yeah.
like, we've been doing a lot of that. So that's why I got a schedule like that. So,
Yeah.
nonetheless, y'all, thank y'all so much for
Thank
watching.
you.
This will be up on Facebook, and it will also be on my YouTube channel. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Talk to y'all later.
Thank you.